Hi guys, Ratty from Inside FPV here. Today I'm going to show you how to use the track builder from rotorrush.com. If you haven't got the track builder installed, please look back at part 1 of this tutorial series where I show you how to install the track builder and the components that you will need to use it. As you can see, you have a simple football field where you can place down components and build a track that you would want any size you'd like within this field. The limitations are really your computer, but you should be able to easily handle 50 to 60 components, so as long as you don't go crazy, you should be fine. Getting from the track builder to the simulator is very quick. You just generate your track data, go over to Rotor Rush Simulator, head into the custom flying field, and then as you can see, here is the track that was in Sketchup. Say you don't like something, like you think these flags here are too low for the high gates and you'd like to change them. It's very simple to do. Quickly head back over to SketchUp, select what you would like to change, we will replace them with the higher flags, generate the track data, and then you can go back to the simulator. If you exit out of the track and then enter back in, you will see that the flags have now changed. They're now the high flags. So, without further ado, stick with me and I will show you how to build a track. So, SketchUp is free software that is fairly easy to use. It can be quite daunting the first time you open it, but we only need to use a few of the tools, so if you get used to using them, you can do pretty much everything that you need to do to build a track. The most common tools that you need to use are the orbit tool, which you can either press O on your keyboard, you can find it over here on the menu, or if you hold down the jog wheel on your mouse, that is the quickest way to do it, and if you get used to doing that, it will make your workflow very quick. Also the pan tool, which is this hand here, which just lets you drag the map around, and likewise if you hold down the jog wheel on your mouse and then hold down the shift key, then that is a shortcut to the pan and you can use that very quickly. Zoom, you can use the jog wheel. If you move that up and down, you can zoom in and out. And then the last tool is the move tool, which you can just press M on your keyboard, or you will find it over here in the control panel, and that simply just lets you move objects around on the map. And one more is the selection tool. If you press spacebar, no matter what tool you're in, that will always take you back to the selection tool, and that means you can drag, select, or click on anything that you'd like to use. So let's get rid of this track that I have here. Just highlight it all, press delete, and we are going to set out a very simple track just in this football pitch here. So let's start with some cones. Components that you have listed that you can use for the track are all listed on the side here. You will have installed them in the previous video, and simply drag them onto the map and drop them down. So I'm going to just make a very simple oblongy, oval, circle type shape just for demonstration purposes. There are lots of quicker ways of doing this. If you are familiar with using SketchUp, you will know a lot simpler and quicker ways of doing this, and if you would like to learn some more of the advanced ways of laying out tracks, please tune in for the next part of the tutorial, part 3, where I will show you some advanced track building settings and shortcuts and tips. So now we have our circly oval shape laid out. Let's add a few gates. Again, we're just going to simply drag and drop them onto the track. Let's go for 4 of them. And maybe add a slightly more interesting gate. Let's put a high gate here and high gate here. Now we will add a couple of flags in to stop you cutting any corners. The simulator is used a lot by people to practice, so it is good to practice good practice, and don't cut corners, don't skip gates, practice retaking gates. All very good lessons to get you ready for racing in real life. Very valuable tool which will save you a lot of time and money in the long run. Now, the last thing we need to do is rotate the gates so they are in the direction we want to race. As you can see at the moment, they are not in the correct direction. So if you press the space bar to bring up your selection tool, click on a gate, press M to bring up the move tool, and then you will find the red dots on top and a blue protractor will appear, which means you can rotate around the blue axis and we can spin the gate into the correct location. If you are on the side of the gate, you will see, let me just zoom in a bit, you will see a red protractor appears, or possibly a green one. These are not the ones you want to rotate on, because that will spin the gate in completely the wrong direction and you'll end up in with a gate stuck in the floor or floating in the air. Not to say that's a bad thing. If you want to set them up like that, you do have the ability to set up tracks as imaginary as you would like, so you can have gates floating randomly in the middle of the air if you want. It will just be very hard to replicate that in real life. So again, spacebar, select, M for move, rotate on the blue axis. If you hold the mouse further away, you get a lot more precision for rotating than if you were close by, so just move out a little bit, rotate in the direction you want it to be. Spacebar, select the gate, M for move, blue axis, rotate. Select, M, blue axis, rotate. And there we have it, a simple oval layout. The one last thing that we need to do is put in a start grid. I'm just going to drag that up here, zoom in on it, and again rotate it round so we are facing in the right direction. There we have a very simple oval track. Now we just have to click generate track data, load up the sim, enter in the custom find field, and there we have it. There's our track. Just a simple oval. Couple of gates, couple of high gates, couple of flags. From Sketchup to the simulator within seconds. And if you wanted to make a change, say you didn't like something to do with the track, you don't like the way it flows, or you think the gates are too close to each other, or let's just say you wanted to change this flag, you simply exit out of the track, go back to Sketchup, you can press the space bar, select a gate. If you hold down shift, you can select multiple things, so we're going to select all 4 of them flags, and then we can right click on this flag and replace selected, and you'll see all 4 gates get replaced. Generate track data, and then back in the simulator you can see all 4 flags been replaced with the big 5-meter multi-GP flags. So that's simple, and you can be as creative or as simple as you like, and you have a pretty big area to build in. Like I said, you have 2 whole football pitches, and you could probably get around 60 or so gates without having any issues with your computer. If you get too crazy and start building in hundreds, your computer might struggle and your gaming experience or simulation experience will suffer. So push the boundaries as much as you like, but if you find you are struggling with your computer, maybe back it off a little bit and delete a few of the components. I hope you have found this tutorial useful, and if you would like to learn more, then please tune in for the next part, where I will show you how to build a more advanced track and actually set the gates so they have timing on them, so you can have numbered gates and the spotter will call out your gates for you and the times as you do your laps. Thank you very much for watching. Happy flying.